bros dating y'all motherfuckers. No more for me. No more for the Virgo.
Girl, you might be right.
I know. No, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I know
But
I'm
I'm saying that
difficult
to
to
say,
handle.
with my commitment to celibacy,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of made me reevaluate my self-worth, because I had to analyze my dating life and how sex played a part, but how so many other things played a part. And I realized that quality showing up so heavily in my dating life. And I was like, and then I was like, where else does it show up? And it shows up in so many other aspects of my life. So it helped me feel more secure as a person and feel like me just being me. That's the prize, right? That's the prize. All the other stuff I do for self-actualization and for career advancement and for beauty perks, those are pluses. But me, just me, no makeup, buddy ass, enough. Okay? So I feel like it helped me because it starts with how is sex attributing to your life? And then it goes to, well, what are the patterns you see within your relationships? And then it goes into, well, what are the patterns you see within your life? Okay, well, do you feel like sex is the only thing you have to offer? Okay, well, what else do you feel like you have to offer? How many other ways can you show up? So if I named all the things, I feel like it got me, I would have to take out my journal and we'd be here for a very long time. But I feel like it just made me so much more grounded as a person and so willing to give affection. Like I said before, I was distant. I was dismissive. And now since I don't have, and I felt like the sex was my way out of that, right? So any complaint I got in a relationship would be like, I don't feel like you care. You don't show enough emotion. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna throw this cat on you and you ain't gonna say shit for another 3 months, right?
Real quick.
Hello? And then it would come up again. And then I'll be like, well, I'm gonna throw this puss on you and you ain't gonna say nothing else, right? But that was my crutch. So now that I don't have it, especially I didn't realize how my platonic relationships were like suffocating because they can't get that from me. And I was being distant. I'm like, I have to give so much more grace and love. So doing that outward to other people, although it was very, very difficult at first because I felt so stupid for doing it. It sounds dumb. It comes back to me and it's allowing me to grow with so much more grace. So that's how it showed up in my life.
Yeah, I thank you for sharing that. I realized about myself that when it comes to my self-worth, I realized that basically now that I haven't been having sex since like the beginning of December, I have had so much time to focus on me. And I didn't realize how much focus I was putting on men and like, you know, does he like me and what am I doing wrong? And now that I've literally said, like I said before, no mas, like I'm done. I'm putting that to the side right now. I realized that, like, first of all, it's not that friggin' important. I was putting the emphasis on it and I was putting the importance on that. But I've shifted my focus and I've now put that focus into myself and my goals and my aspirations and the things I wanted for myself. And I realized, bitch, you could have been a lot further if you was focusing on the right things. You know what I'm saying? And it's actually pretty sad because it makes me realize that I was worrying about love, relationship, sex, when I could have been worrying about Zakia and what she needs to do and how she needs to fulfill herself and pour into herself instead of pouring into somebody else who couldn't give a rat's ass, you know? So I've just got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm okay here. And not being sexually active doesn't mean you're lonely or, you know, pathetic, because I'm sorry to admit that I used to think that. I used to think that if I didn't have someone that I could call up, I you know, I'm not desirable. I, you know, don't have anything going for myself. And that's because it goes back to what I said before. I was tying so much of my sexual energy to my self-worth. And I needed to stop doing that. So, you know, now that I've gotten out of that, like I said, I just have gotten to this place where I'm putting all that energy into me. And it's amazing to see how much I am doing and I'm capable of by doing that. So,
period.
Yeah.
I know you're the one that asked the question, but I don't question it.
Girl, go ahead.
Okay. So even if, because I don't think it's wrong or right if you do or do not make the commitment to celibacy, right? Like, I feel like everybody has a different journey. And I would hope that anybody watching this doesn't feel condemned for not having made the commitment or having made the commitment,
Mhm.
whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you're self-aware and you're doing things with purpose. Bust it open and don't bust it open. It don't matter. But my question to you is, with the self-awareness that you have now, what are some key things that you think you'll be doing differently in your dating life?
I will definitely not be having sex with people until I feel like I have gotten to a point with them where I know they're locked in and I'm
Mm,
locked in, or I've realized that me and them are compatible at
mm,
least, at the
mm.
least. Because, like I said, there's been so many people that I've been like, oh, I like them. It's a vibe. I'm a
No
fuck.
list, just vibes.
No list, just
Hmm.
vibes, just sniffing the candles, burning the incense.
Picking up the
That's
sale
it.
item. What's
But
this?
no real structure for how I envision my life and my future to be with my partner. And now that I'm 27,
Mm.
going on fucking 28, God gracious, Jesus, whatever.
We're going to be looking back when we're 70, talking about 28, 27. Like, what were we talking about?
But now that I'm this age, it's like, I can't do childish things anymore. I have to take accountability for what I'm doing. And
Yeah,
I think that one way that I can save myself from heartache and just pointless situationships and getting my heart invested in things is by saying, no, I'm not doing that.
mm,
Not until I feel like I've gotten to a certain point, with you or in this situation. So that's what I
period.
would do different. I'm not giving the kitty cat up for a while until I feel like, that man has showed me something worth it. No more
Period.
casual sex. I've done the casual sex. I had fun. I had my whole phase. I had a good time. I really did. And,
That's fine.
I'm not judging anyone for that. Do you? I think sometimes we need that. We need that.
It's a good time.
Right.
Right.
But I have transcended, for lack of a better word, from that portion of my life, and I want something different, you know?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I feel you. It's so weird because, like, oh my God, I don't even want to admit this.
girl, say it's a safe. Ain't this a safe space, y'all? Tell her it's a safe space. She
Yo,
keep
this is
forgetting it's a safe
real.
space.
I don't be sharing stuff. I told you I'm DSM, okay?
hmm
So
It's the Virgo in you.
I'm disgusted with what I'm about to admit. Okay. All right. So last year, right before Rona hit us over the head,
hmm
I moved to LA. I
hmm
know before I moved here, I met like some dancers, but like I'm not really interested in dating dancers. If my husband happens to be a dancer, this excludes you. But I'm not really interested in like dating people within my field. So I was like, well, how else am I supposed to meet people at a date? And I was like, duh, dating apps. So my roommate told me about this dating app, Hinge. So I got on Hinge.
uh-huh.
And it's I'm ashamed.
Yes. Talk about it, sis. What you gotta say?
Pretty
Go
Jones
ahead.
don't need no dating app. But I don't know nobody here, right? So we're gonna meet the honeys where they're at. So whatever. So I get on the dating app and I would get so excited when I would see like older men like reaching out to me.
hmm
And I know this is not a direct correlation, right? But what you just said about, and it's so powerful about like, I want more and I want what aligns with my future and the future that I want for
hmm
my family, the future that I want for myself, the future relationship security I want for myself. I want that. And to get that in your future, you have to plant those seeds now, right? Regardless of how you want to date or what kind of sex you want to use in your life, like you have to plant those seeds now to have it in the future. That was so powerful. So like I would get so excited when I would see like 31, 32 pluses. It's about 37, 38. Just in case you want to find me on there, just know that range. I would get so excited. I would get so excited when it was hitting me up because I'm like, oh, you probably at the stage of your life where you really trying to settle down.
Right. Mm-hmm. But
Blah, blah, you know? So it's not a direct correlation, but that is
mm-hmm.
why I would get excited because I'm like, do you want more yet?
Yeah.
Or no? Right?
Yeah. That's the question,
Yeah.
though. When does, and I'm sorry to come for the fellas because I'm going comfy y'all with this question. When do y'all want more? When do y'all want more? Or is it all just a game? Is it a fucking illusion? Let me know in the comments. I don't know how many men are in the building, but let me know.
I'm going to scratch up in his ear while y'all responding.
I should be feeling good. I love digging my ear with a Q-tip. It feels very cathartic. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that and scratched your head at the same time?
Girl, that would probably be a self-orgasm right there.
I had to find other ways to please myself outside of sex, and that's one of them. Okay.
Yes, and don't forget, y'all, Black Lux. Check them out. I have a coupon code WDW for 25% off. Black-owned sexual intimacy business. They sell dildos, sex toys, all of that. Everything to spice up your love life, whether you're doing it by yourself or with a partner. But the last question I have for you is talking about shame. Have you ever had someone made you feel shameful for being celibate?
Not yet.
Good. Good.
Thankfully. Yeah, not
Mm-hmm.
yet. Not yet, but I'm sure it'll come up.
Mm-hmm.
But I, in general, with other people's opinions, for the most part, with some stuff that I'm sensitive to, no, like my artistry, but for other stuff, I have pretty thick skin because I'm hard-headed naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you say something that opposes what I think, even if you're right, I'm gonna oppose you at first because I'm just hard-headed. So if you're not right with my views or what you're saying is like directly conflicting with something that I really, really align with, I don't give a fuck. You're not right anyway. And even if you were right, you're not going to be right to me for like a couple weeks till I realize that I'm wrong. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't happened yet, but I think even when it does come, and maybe it has, and I just haven't viewed it like that because I'm like so hard headed. But it will. And I feel like when I have a bigger social influence, it definitely will. But it is
Yeah, I
what
see
it is.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
people are
like it is.
rude.
Like okay,
Yeah.
and that's why you ain't getting no. That's why you ain't getting none.
Anyways,
Right. So exactly.
so with that, I just wanted to reply to you with a quote that I read while doing research for this episode, which I thought was so empowering. And the quote goes, "If sexual empowerment is about choosing what to do with one's body, then both being sexually active and sexually abstinent check that box. So don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing with your body is wrong, especially in this day and age of sexual empowerment. We live in a world where sex is literally pushed down our throats everywhere we go. And sometimes it's hard not to think that maybe it's getting diluted because it's constantly shown to us everywhere. And if you choose to be celibate, that is your personal choice. And I commend you, especially in a world that is over sexual.